It's over to you, Joy.
We're ready.
It's time now for Emory and Henry College basketball right here on WEHC 90.7 FM. This broadcast is made possible through the generous support of Edward Jones Investments, 126 East Main Street, Marion, First Bank and Trust, People Incorporated, and Food Country. Let's go courtside now for the call of today's game.
Welcome to Emory and Henry basketball. We're pausing now for the national anthem. Welcome again, everyone, to Emory and Henry Athletics. It's women's basketball tonight from the Bob Johnson Court in the John Rutledge King Center on the campus of Emory and Henry College. I'm Joy Scruggs, bringing you the play-by-play, and alongside me is
Dylan Castron.
So welcome, Dylan, to tonight's broadcast. Being heard over WEHC 90.7 FM and also live streamed at GoWasps.com. Dylan, how about giving us the starting lineup for the visiting women's basketball team from LMU?
At 1, we have Giovanni Rios. At 5, we have Michaela Keeney. At 10, we have Ira Lynn Davison. At 33, Grace Day. And 35, Lindsay Profit.
So those are the starters for the visiting Rail Splitters from Lincoln Memorial, being coached by, you know their coach,
Davon Carter, and the assistant, Jordan Davis and Sydney Wilson.
So the Rail Splitters from LMU will be a future SAC opponent for Emory and Henry once we enter the once we finish our probationary 2-year period before we enter competition at the Division II level. So the starters for Emory and Henry entering tonight's contest with an overall record of 3-2. A 5'5" junior guard from Bristol, Virginia, averaging 4 points a game, 4 rebounds a game, and 5 assists a game, number 5, Amaya Lee. A 5'4" junior guard from Greenville, Tennessee, at 7.2 points a game, shooting 40% from the three-point line, number 12, Briley Jones. A 5'8" senior guard from Bristol, Virginia, averaging 5.6 points a game, 3.4 rebounds, number 21, Callie Hatterer. A 5'10" sophomore from Bristol, Tennessee, averaging 6 points a game, 3 rebounds a game, number 23, Taylor Owens. And rounding out the lineup for the Wasp, a 6'2" senior center from Sparta, North Carolina, averaging 9.6 points a game, 6.2 rebounds, number 55, Alexis Hoppers. Emory and Henry is coached by Jacqueline Dickens, a 99 graduate of Emory and Henry. Assistant coaches Tessa Johnston, Kyle Sensabaugh, both Emory and Henry graduates, alongside Antoine Van Buren. So Emory and Henry is playing in the white uniforms with the blue numerals. The visiting Rail Splitters are in navy uniforms with white numerals. Emory and Henry will be playing offense first to your left, and the Rail Splitters playing offense to your right. And the tap is up, and it's controlled by Emory and Henry. Hoppers with the ball up top. Gives it to Jones on the left-hand wing. Now back to Lee at the top. She calls out the play. Facing a 2-3 zone defense, Jones dribbles around, gives it Hatterer, left-hand wing, skips across to Lee on the right-hand wing, back to Jones up top. Finds Cutting Owens at the high post. She kicks it back out to Lee. Lee's three on the way, too strong. Rebound gathered in by the Rail Splitters, and she loses control of it and turns it over. Emory and Henry will have the ball underneath their basket. That's the way you want to play offense against the zone, isn't it, Dylan?
Absolutely.
Get the ball inside and back out. I love the
Absolutely.
high post against the zone.
Got to keep it moving.
So Lee, I guess they call that a change of possession. So Emory and Henry will have the ball underneath their basket with a fresh 30-second shot clock. From a box set, they send Cutters out. Hatterer tracks it down and dribbles back to the top of the key. Sends Jones over to the right-hand wing with it. Now back to Hatterer up top, facing this zone defense. Lee, left-hand wing, gives it to Owens. Owens threes up on the way, no good. Rebound by Davison of the Rail Splitters, who brings it up in transition, picked up by man-to-man defense by Emory and Henry as they swing across the perimeter. Up top to Day. Day gets it to the high post. Now she kicks it out. Three on the way by Davison. That three's too strong. Battle for the rebound by Emory and Henry, and it goes out. Oh, no, it's saved by the Rail Splitters on the baseline. Rios, handoff, right-hand wing. Now at high post to Keeney.
Oh, wow, that's a great pass by Ira Lynn.
Down low to Day. She misses two, but the Rail Splitters come away with the rebound. Three on the way, no good. Stick back is good. That's Davison with the stick back. So both teams cold from three, and the Rail Splitters take the 2-0 lead in the first 30 seconds.
Looks like the Rail Splitters are playing zone.
Yeah, they've been playing zone. I think it's a 2-3, maybe, can't tell for sure. Anyway, Emory and Henry standing and holding the ball quite a bit against it. Hoppers with the ball outside looking for somebody, and the shot clock's now at 6. Jones takes 2 dribbles, pulls it up. It's no good. Rebound gathered in by Davison for the Rail Splitter. She comes down in transition, kicks it out. Keeney dribbles a player through as she goes to the right-hand wing. Spin move, gets inside, tries to go against Hoppers, does, and it bounces off, no good. Owens for Emory and Henry with the rebound. Lee passes ahead to Hatterer. She spin moves, gets through free, but just bangs it off the glass, lost where she was, and the Rail Splitters come away with it. Rios dribbles in, kicks it out short corner to Day, and Day's little face-up from just outside the lane is good. The Rail Splitters with the 4-0 lead. Little full-court pressure here. Lee gets the ball across, calls out on offense. Yeah, it's a 2-3 zone by the Rail Splitters. Jones with the ball on the right-hand wing calls Taylor Owens to step out, gets it inside to Hoppers, kicks it back out. Nobody's willing to take the shot. Hoppers gets it down low. She makes her move. Hoppers.
That was a nice left-hand hook by Hoppers.
Yeah,
That's
Hoppers
a good finish.
Deadly going left and gets Emory and Henry on the scoreboard. 7 minutes to play. 2-4 is the Emory and Henry deficit. Day with the ball up top. Looks at Cutters going through. Hands it over to Rios, right-hand wing. Finds Davison. 2 dribble pull-ups, too strong there. Hoppers battles for the rebound, and it's going to be Emory and Henry ball on the loss out of bounds. Last touch by the Rail Splitters. And the Rail Splitters are coming out in some full-court defense here. Looks like a 2-2-1 full-court press. Emory and Henry's going to be content to look for Cutters and pass against it, and then now we passed it cross-court, and it's picked off by Keeney. Keeney hands over to Davison, back to Keeney. Keeney 3 on the way. Yep, you could tell when she released that it was going to be good. So with 6:31 left to play in the first quarter of action, Emory and Henry women trail the visiting Rail Splitters from Lincoln Memorial 2-7.
Edward Jones' support for WEHC and Emory and Henry Wasp basketball comes proudly from Tom Graham and Kyle King of Edward Jones Investments, 126 East Main Street, Marion. Learn what investing can do for you. 276-783-4448 or edwardjones.com. Edward Jones members, SIPC. Food Country, the food specialist, bringing you quality, price, satisfaction, founded in a small rural area to serve friends and neighbors. Food Country has evolved to serve Southwest Virginia and East Tennessee. Locally owned and operated, your money stays in your community. Food Country is proud to support Emory and Henry Wasp basketball on WEHC 90.7 FM.
So we were just talking, Dylan, before the game started that it's been cold in the King Center. Well, It's been cold for the.
It is.
It's cold for the women shooting tonight, and they're just 1 of 5.
Me and some of the guys on the team were joking around. That's our home court. That's our sixth defender. The cold in the gym. It's throwing the other teams off.
That's the opposite of how Bob Johnson used to have it in here. But Emory and Henry women are 1 of 5, 0 of 2 from 3. The Rail Splitters are 3 of 9. So that's not.
It's not working in our favor tonight.
That's not outstanding, but nonetheless, it's better than 0 or 1 of 5 for 20%. So coming out of this timeout, Emory and Henry is facing this 2-2-1 press by the Rail Splitters. Lee gets it, just dribbles through the press, gets it down, tries to pick up her dribble or control her dribble. Hatter with the ball on the right-hand wing, can't get it to Hopper, skips it to Jones. Jones 3 on the ways, rolls round and won't go in. Owens with the rebound, right baseline, tries to feed Hoppers. That's a hard post feed right there, and it dribbles out of bounds. It's turnover for the Wasps. 6:08 first quarter action. Emory and Henry trails 2-7. Emory and Henry still playing man-to-man. Ball on the right-hand wing. Now back to the top to Day. Day feeds it down to the high post to Keeney. Keeney makes a move, gets inside, gets it stripped away by Lee. Nice pick by Lee. Picks it up, gives it to Jones, left-hand wing. Jones gets inside. Her shot is partially blocked, and it'll be out of bounds off of LMU.
For the Wasps, number 11, Grace Glantz is checking in for number 55, Alexis Hoppers.
So Emory and Henry playing tonight without the services of Emma Santoro, who's injured. She averages 10 points a game and almost 7 rebounds a game. Ball out of bounds on the baseline. 22 on the shot clock. Inbounds pass to Owens. Her 2 on the way is too strong. Rebounded by Rios of the Rail Splitters. Pass ahead to Davison. Davison 3 on the way is up. No good. Rebound by Glantz for Emory and Henry. Gets it out to Lee. Lee pushes it ahead, gets it picked off by Owens. It's 2 easy turnovers. Emory and Henry's committed in full court. Ball at the top to Keeney. Keeney tries to get it down low to Day. Day tries to put it on the floor, and it rolls off of her leg out of bounds in front of the Emory and Henry bench.
Subbing in from the Wasps, number 31, Macy McClellan. She got number 12, Briley Jones.
Ball inbounds by the Wasp in the backcourt, facing this 2-2-1 press that just backs up. Lee with it now, setting up the defense against this zone, offense against this zone defense. Hatter with the ball on the left-hand wings finds Glantz at the short corner. Owens puts it up, and it's no good. Rebounded by the Rail Splitters. Now in transition, skip it over right-hand wing. That 3 hits the backboard. That was Walton. Now pass ahead to Glantz. No, that's McClanahan. Gets it out to Glantz. Glantz looks at it, misses everything. Emory and Henry is cold cold.
Yeah, it's been a sloppy start to the game for both sides.
11%, 1 for 9, unless I missed, they haven't updated it. Emory and Henry, 4.5 minutes to play in the first quarter, trails 2-7. That's Walton dribbling back up to the top. Looks for a cutter, picks up her dribble, finds Rios. Now short corner to Day. Day makes a move. A little short hook by Day. Yep, nice post move by her. 2-9, Emory and Henry trails. Middle of the zone press, they find it, get it up to McClanahan. And then to Glantz on the left-hand block, who finally finishes for Emory and Henry. 4-9, Emory and Henry trails. Just under 4 minutes to play in the first quarter. Rios, handoff, back to Rios. She dribbles left, finds a backdoor cutter. Oh, it's picked off by Lee. Lee in transition, tries to pass ahead to Glantz, and that's McClanahan, and it's just off of her fingertips out of bounds. Led her just a little bit too much there. How many turnovers is that? 4 turnovers in the first quarter for both teams. Rios sets up the offense. She's got a high post, or actually she's at the three-point line. The post player there dribbles over, hands off to Profit. Profit takes it in, hands it down low to Walton. Her three's no good. Rebound gathered in by Rios. Rios takes it to the basket and won't get it to go. And Walton picks it up off the floor and puts it in. 3 minutes left in first quarter action. Emory and Henry trails 4-11. Owens takes it up, back to Lee. Lee skips it over to Hatterer. Hatterer takes it in, now back out, skipping around the perimeter. Hatterer gets it back again, left-hand short corner, bangs off the front of the rim. And away with it come the Rail Splitters. Profit, pass ahead, left-hand wing, dump down low to Day, and Day puts it up and draws the foul. First foul of the game, but man, oh man, has it been ugly.
Subbing in for the Wasps, number 40, Chelsea Hodges, and for number 23, Taylor Owens.
That foul was on
21, Callie Hatter.
Her first, team first, and Day goes to the free throw line and knocks it down. Day's a 6'1" junior from Hershey, Pennsylvania. Second shot on the way and no good. No, rolls in, is good. So now Emory and Henry trails by 9, 2:41 to play, first quarter.
Subbing in for the Rail Splitters, Keeney is back in for number 33, Grace Day.
Now it looks like, yeah, they're still playing a zone here. Zone full court, pass ahead to Lee. Lee breaks through the press, sets up the offense. This zone has forced us to outside shooting, and we have been miserably unsuccessful at it. Skipping around the perimeter, using the high post. Glantz steps out, gives it to Lee. 10 on the shot clock. Glantz looks at the three, takes the three, no good on the three. And the rebound by Keeney of the Rail Splitters. Long pass, Rios up ahead, gets it to, I don't know who that was. Kenny? No, that's Profit, I'm sorry. So out of bounds, and it'll be Emory and Henry ball. 2:07 remaining first quarter. Emory and Henry trails 4-13.
Subbing in for the Wasps, number 3, Claudia Frost, for number 21, Callie Hatter.
So Lee now is the only remaining starter in the game for Emory and Henry. Glantz with it against the full court pressure. And the freshman passes to another freshman, Chelsea Hodge, at the half-court line, and she committed a over and back violation. 5 turnovers in 8 minutes for the Wasps. Rio sets up her offense here. Emory and Henry still playing man-to-man. She dribbles through, handoff at the top to Keeney. Keeney looks for somebody. She's going to take it herself, dribbles all the way down, gets to the low block, kicks it out to Profit. Profit takes 2 dribbles, pulls up, no good. But Keeney's there for the rebound. She dribbles out, faces up. There goes Profit again. She gets her shot blocked by Glantz and of Emory and Henry, and Lee comes out with it, weaving through traffic. She finds Glantz. Yeah, there you go. Who finds Hodges down low, and Emory and Henry finally connects. 6-13 with 1:20 remaining. Emory and Henry trails. Pass ahead to Walton at the baseline. Her shot on the drive is no good. Glantz with the rebound for Emory and Henry. Lee. To Frost. Now back to Lee. Frost left baseline. Finds Hodges. She skips it out to McClanahan. Now Lee with it. McClanahan right-hand wing. 1 dribble. Picks it up. 9 on the shot clock. Glantz, short corner, feeds it down low to Hodges. Hodges can't get it to fall, but she sticks it back. So this group of freshmen's doing something the veterans couldn't get done, and that's score.
They're moving the ball well. That's leading to easy baskets.
35 seconds remaining, 8-13, Emory and Henry trails. Pass to the sideline is knocked away out of bounds by Glantz. So 21 on the shot clock. The Rail Splitters will have it on their half-court end. Offensive end.
Number 20 and number 33. Number 20, Lauren Flowers, and number 33, Grace Day, are subbing in for the Rail Splitters.
So Rail Splitters with the ball in bounds. Rio sets up the offense. And that 3 is good by Lauren Flowers. 22 seconds remaining. Emory and Henry trails 8-16. Frost with it. Right-hand wing gives it back to Lee. 15 on the shot clock. Lee to Frost, right baseline. Now to McClanahan. Gets it inside to Hodges at the high post. Back to Frost. Thought about the three. Now gets it back to Lee. Lee fires the three. It's too strong. 3 on the shot clock. I don't think the Rail Splitters are going to get it off, and they don't. So at the end of 10 minutes, Emory and Henry's been doubled up by the Rail Splitters, trailing 8-16. Have you done both of them? Okay, go ahead.
People Incorporated. Support for WEHC and ENH WASP basketball comes from People Incorporated, believing that every person needs support from others. People Incorporated promotes the dignity of individuals and families, moves people into the economic mainstream, and works to develop existing strengths and resources within communities. For information about assistance with community development, education, employment training, family services, financial services, or housing, contact 276-623-9000 or peopleinc.net. All of the efforts of People Incorporated are directed by the concerns, hopes, needs, and dreams of the people served. First Bank and Trust. Emory and Henry basketball is brought to you with support by First Bank and Trust, offering mobile banking, Apple Pay, remote deposits, and more. Serving with free checking since 1979. Member FDIC and on the web at firstbank.com.
So it's been cold for the Wasps tonight, but we finally have gotten on the board. We were stuck at 0-2 for the longest time. So 8 points with of course, both teams have 5 turnovers, but when you've only scored 4 field goals and 0 threes, that hurts you worse than it hurts the team with a couple of threes and 6 field goals and that 2 free throws. This game isn't out of reach for Emory and Henry. Certainly not the level of competition. We can certainly compete with LMU, but we're going to have to get little more focused on offense.
Yeah, they're going to have to box out, too. They give up 7 offensive rebounds that quarter, and that's not going to get it done.
It is not. Flowers with the ball up top, gives it to Day. Day dribbles around, finds a cutting Keeney in the middle, and they skip it back outside. That three's on the way, no good. There's another offensive rebound, and she sticks it in. That's Flowers for the stick back. Emory and Henry now trails by 10, 8-18, trying to get it across the half-court line against this full-court pressure. Lee setting up the offense, gives it to, is that McClanahan? Now at the Hodge at the top, and there 3 is on the way by Frost.
It's a great rebound.
Oh.
Great rebound by McClanahan.
Yeah, McClanahan, the freshman from Kingsport, is there for the stick back. So Emory and Henry on the board in the second quarter, and it looks like they're playing zone defense here. Trailing by 8. The Rail Splitters passing around the perimeter here, gets it to the left baseline, kicks it at the top to Keeney. Keeney eyes the 3, takes the 3, drains the 3. So now Emory and Henry trails by 11, 10-22. Frost with it against full court pressure, gives it to McClanahan. Back to Frost, now to Lee. She gets it across the half-court line, setting up the offense. The Rail Splitters have been playing zone defense this entire game. Frost with it on the right wing. Gets it to Glance, who feeds Hodges at the short corner. Her shot won't fall, and another rebound for the Rail Splitters.
WEHC is pleased to present Emory and Henry in Sports History, a broadcast made available through the generous support of...
And she just attacked as Lee was trying to prevent her from going left, just attacked her and drew the foul. That's her first foul, team's first foul of this second quarter. Rios sets up the defense. Emory and Henry playing 1-3-1, I think. Ball on the right-hand wing now to the baseline. Kick out to Rios. Rios, 2 dribble pull up. That's too strong. And finally, Emory and Henry denies them an offensive rebound. Lee with it, crosses it over, looks at Frost. Frost, right baseline. Uses the short corner to get it to Glance. Hodges passes to her on a streak cut down the middle of the lane, and she can't hold on to it. Oh, I thought she might have walked. 3 on the way by Keeney, no good. Another rebound, though, offensive rebound by Day. She gets it blocked, and Frost comes away with it for Emory and Henry. 7:40 remaining. Emory and Henry trails 10-21. Lee sets up the offense here. McClanahan back to Lee. Left-hand wing, now we're using the short corner. Glance skips it over to Frost. Back to Lee. right left-hand wing, McClanahan's shot's no good. Rebound again by the Rail Splitters. Rios skips it over to Davison. Now back out, 3 on the way by Flowers, no good. And McClanahan comes away with it. Pass ahead to Glantz. Picks it up, finds Lee. And that was a dangerous pass. 20 on the shot clock. Left-hand wing, McClanahan. Glantz. Now, well, it's McClanahan and Glantz passing it back and
They're
forth.
moving the ball.
Frost, right-hand wing. Finds Glantz at the high post, and she tries to pass it down low to Hodges, and it's out of her reach, out of bounds.
Subbing in for the Wasps, number 23, Taylor Owens, and number 55, Alexis Hoppers.
So a few more starters back in the action. Well, the Wasps have been using the middle of the zone to try to move the ball, but we got to make better passes than that. 7 turnovers now for Emory and Henry. Emory and Henry playing the zone defense here. And that Lee steps in front of it, takes that pass away, playing the passing lane. Frost gets it. Now gives it back to Lee. Finds McClanahan, who finds Hoppers down low, gives it to Frost on a cut, and Frost's too strong off the rim. 10-21, Emory and Henry trails, 6:15 remaining first quarter. Right-hand baseline, up top to Keeney. 3 on the way by, I think that was Davison, is too strong. And Emory and Henry now comes away with it. Trailing by 11. Lee to Frost on the right baseline. Hoppers at the short corner gets it. Tries to skip it over. It gets deflected. I hope they call that. So Emory and Henry trying to skip across the zone. It gets deflected.
Number 21 in for the Wasps, Callie Hatter, and number 12, Briley Jones.
So this gets our starters back in the game. So Emory and Henry's been using the high post and also trying to use the short corner. That's not quite the baseline corner, and it's not the low post. It's the area in between. Using that to draw the defense and open up the middle. There's Hatterer with it on the left-hand wing. Looking down low, she tries to feed Hoppers at the high post, and it's deflected away for the 8th turnover by the Wasps, trailing by 11. High post to Keeney. Keeney kicks it down low to the low post, and that 3 on the way by Davison is no good, but on the rebound, it's deflected out of bounds off of LMU, so Emory and Henry will have the ball. 5:27 remaining in second quarter. Emory and Henry trails 10-21. Still shooting a miserable 23%, but the Rail Splitters are at 28%. I don't know how we're both shooting so poorly. I guess the rebounds, the fact that they've out-rebounded us by 9 could be the variable there.
That's definitely the difference maker. It's a rock fight out there right now. Somebody's trying to take the lid off the basket, for sure.
A rock fight. Somebody's going to get hurt. So the officials are having some sort of conversation here about something. I'm not quite sure what. So it looks like it's going to be the Rail Splitters' ball underneath their basket, 17 on the shot clock. That's usually what they're talking about. They lined up on the baseline. Then they find Keeney down low. She tries to go up, and Emory and Henry's going to get called for the foul. So that foul's on Taylor Owens, her first, team second. I like the women playing quarters and the foul. Team fouls reset. You know, you have no 1-and-1 anymore. I like that.
That is nice.
That first free throw by Keeney is good. She's a 73% free throw shooter. The second one is good as well. So Emory and Henry now trailing by 13 with 5:23 remaining and facing full court pressure. Jones tries to beat it, feeds it to Hoppers. Hoppers at least faces up, passes it ahead to Lee. Lee takes it all the way in, kicks it out. Jones thought about the 3, and she thought about it too long because when she went to make a move, she walked. Turnover number 9 now. Yep. 9 turnovers in less than 15 minutes. And most of them relatively unforced.
Unforced, yes, yep. For sure.
So here's Flowers bringing it up for LMU. Emory and Henry now playing man-to-man, I think. Yep. Skip around the perimeter, try to take it inside. Walton drives baseline, picks it up. Lee almost picked that one out of the air against the pass to Keeney. And somehow or another, I couldn't see, but Hatterer comes away with it for Emory and Henry. Hatterer finds Jones on the left-hand wing. She dribbles in, gets into the trouble and picks up her dribble at the baseline, scoops it out to Lee. 15 on the shot clock. Jones finds Owens at the high post, skips over to Hatterer. Hatterer puts the three in the air, and it's too strong. And Flowers comes away with it for LMU. In transition, Flowers kicks it out. The three's on the way. That three's too strong. Another, that was Profit. Is that going to be there's going to be a foul on somebody for, that foul's on Day. Her first, team second. Media timeout here. There was something I was going to say about that offensive possession. I can't remember what it was. Yeah, it's one thing to use the short corner. It's one thing to dribble into the short corner and pick up your dribble.
Yeah, that's not going to work. That's not going to get it done.
That's not going to work. Well, I know what I was going to say. You know, we're taking the shots they're giving us and not the shots we want.
I know,
Would you
absolutely,
say that?
absolutely. Against this zone, we're not shooting the ball well. We got to work some high-low or something to get us going because
we're so tentative on the pass into the high post.
I know.
You know, that or the short corner trying to pass it to the cutter coming down the lane, that we're like, okay, you know, trying to get it to them, and it's a turnover. Yep. We're not.
Because the turnovers aren't coming from the press.
No.
Not at all.
No.
They're beating the press with ease.
Yeah, the only turnover we had against the press was when we had the over and back there at the half-court line just on footwork. But, yeah, it's like, I guess I'm open. I guess I have to take this shot, not, like, confident, you know, this is the shot I'm going to make.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Emory and Henry talking about shooting are 3 of 23, 0 of 8 for 3, and this tells you how we're not attacking. We haven't been to the free throw line. Yeah. I mean, they've only been 4 times, but still, we're being out-rebounded by 10. And it's not a size issue as far as the rebounding. Emory and Henry now on offense as Lee sets it up. And LMU is now playing man-to-man. Good. Maybe we can get something going here. Frost just dribbling around. Lee just standing with it. Calls out an offense now that she realizes the change in defense. Hatterer with it on the right-hand wing. Tries to get it into Hoppers. Owens with the face up just below the 3-point line. And the LMU comes away with it. Flowers, pass ahead to Profit. Back to Flowers. 3 on the way. Oh, my. That looked so off from here, and it went in. 3:40 remaining. First half action. Emory and Henry trails by 16, 10-26. Whenever I see a post player, no offense, Dylan, you're not the typical post player, dribbling, my heart stops.
That's no offense taken.
Yeah.
No offense taken.
Hatterer skips it over to Jones. Jones back to Hatterer. Hatterer takes the 3. She didn't look like she wanted that one either, and she didn't make it. Rebound, Walton. Walton in transition for Keeney. Keeney's 3.
That's her third of the night.
From the right-hand wing, it just buries it. 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Emory and Henry trails by 19, 10-29. Lee gets it across against full court pressure. Finds Jones on the right-hand wing. She dribbles in, tries to float it to Hoppers, and it's picked off for turnover. That's got to be at least 10. Keeney at the top picks up her dribble, finds Flowers, short corner to Profit. Profit dumps it down low to Day, makes a move against Hoppers, kicks it out to Walton. Walton 3 on the way, no good. Hatterer for Emory and Henry prevents their offensive rebound. Hatterer dribbles it up. 2:30 remaining. Emory and Henry trailing by 19. Owens faces up, finds Jones, and Jones has it deflected out of bounds. And here comes a host of subs.
Coming in for the Wasps, you have 24, Hannah Spanier. You have 31, Macy McClanahan. And number 11, Grace Glantz.
So Glantz with the ball, or is that McClanahan? McClanahan with the ball out of bounds, tries to find somebody to get it to, gets it to Owens, hands it back off to Lee. Finds Spainhour on the right-hand wing. Now to McClanahan, and she drives left, kicks it back out. Glantz dribbles in. They don't realize there's 5 on the shot clock. They're just taking their time, and they don't realize That always made me so mad as a coach. I always tried to tell them, check the shot clock before you bring the ball in bounds, and nobody was aware of the shot clock.
It's another unforced turnover.
Yep, so that's 11 or maybe 12. 2 minutes remaining, second quarter. Emory and Henry trails by 19. Playing man-to-man defense. Ball in the corner, back up to Flowers at the top. Walton tries to attack, puts the ball on the floor, and gets it taken away by Emory and Henry. Glance with it, passes ahead to McClanahan. McClanahan takes it in, gets double-teamed, and she turns it over for turnover number 12. Profit kicks it out to Flowers. When it's feeling good, it's feeling good. And I figured that three would fall for Canada just because it's feeling good. Finally, in transition, Emory and Henry scores a layup by Taylor Owens. With 1:23 remaining, Emory and Henry trails by 17, 12-29. So coming into tonight's action, Emory and Henry the women last played at Young Harris on Saturday and lost 46-61. And I can tell you one reason we're cold tonight is because in the fourth quarter against Young Harris, we were outscored 20-2.
Wow.
So we were leading at the end of the third quarter, 44-41, and lost 46-61. So whatever frostbite we got there, we are still dealing with it here as we are 6 of 26, 0 of 9 from 3, being out-rebounded by 10 and trailing by 17 points. So LMU passing around the perimeter, takes it to the baseline. That's Flowers dribbling it back up to Profit. Profit dribbles left, tries to find a backdoor cutter, can't. Emory and Henry in man-to-man defense. Rios takes it in, does find the backdoor cutter. She gets double-teamed. She kicks it down low to a streaking Kirkpatrick down the lane, and she lays it in. Under a minute left in the first half, Emory and Henry trailing by 19. Glance with it on the left-hand wing now to Lee. Lee to McClanahan. One dribble. Glance sets a ball screen for Lee. Steps out. She's going to put the three up. And it rims out. And here comes Rios with it for the Rail Splitters. 30 seconds remaining. Emory and Henry in man-to-man here. Rios just setting up and waiting for the clock to dribble down to go for one shot. She's sending everybody to the baseline. The coach is telling them what to do. 10 on the game clock, on the shot clock, 11 on the game clock. Profit steps out, now kicks it back to Rios. Rios, three on the way, drains it. 3 seconds remaining. Emory and Henry gets it in bounds, just dribbles around and lets the clock run down. So at the end of 2 periods, Emory and Henry, in the frigid shooting of tonight's 22%, trails the visiting Rail Splitters of Lincoln Memorial 12-33. If you'll stay tuned to WEHC during halftime for the Emory and Henry in Sports History segment tonight featuring Margaret Hudson, we're going to send it back to Leanne Hunter at the WEHC studios, who will bring it back to us before the end of halftime for a first half recap. Back to you, Leanne. Welcome back to women's basketball action at Emory and Henry tonight at the King Center on the Bob Johnson Court as Emory and Henry is facing future South Atlantic Conference opponent Lincoln Memorial Rail Splitters, and Dylan Ketron, I start to say Dylan Thomas. Dylan Ketron is alongside me here tonight. I'm Joy Scruggs. And it's been a dismal first half for the women's basketball team tonight, hasn't it, Dylan?
It has. They came out a little sluggish, and it sort of stayed that way throughout the course of the first half.
Yeah, Emory and Henry shooting 22%, 6 of 27. We're 0 of 10 from the three-point line, have not been to the free throw line. So that tells you a little something. We haven't attacked the basket. And we have 12 turnovers. We can't take care of the ball. We can't shoot it from outside, and we haven't gotten to the rim.
That's a recipe for disaster.
That's
right
a recipe
there.
for 12 points in 20 minutes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's pretty dismal. And you throw in there that we're being out-rebounded by 11. It's a wonder we're not trailing by more than 21 points, quite frankly.
It is.
Both teams, Emory and Henry has played predominantly man-to-man, played a little bit of zone, wasn't very effective at it at all. And the Rail Splitters played a lot of zone, which we had no idea how to, well, I take that back. We were attacking the way we wanted to attack it. We were using the short corner, sending a cutter down the lane. We were using good ball movement. We were sending people to the high post. But we couldn't take care of the basketball, and we couldn't knock down a shot.
Absolutely.
And we couldn't get an offensive rebound. We have 4 offensive rebounds. They have 10.
Absolutely.
So it'll be interesting to see as the second half begins what Emory and Henry is going to do to try to get things going. Now, last night in the men's game, defensive intensity picked up our offensive intensity, and that's always a good recipe. When you look at Emory and Henry scoring, of course, we only have 12 points. Chelsea Hodges has 4, Glantz 2, McClanahan 2, and then 2 starters, Owens and Hoppers, have 2. So only 5 people have scored for Emory and Henry. For the visiting Rail Splitters, Keeney has 11, Flowers with 8, Day with 6, and 4 other players in the scoring column. So Emory and Henry fortunately gets the ball first here, and we'll see if we can get something going here. LMU has played some full court pressure, and as you mentioned at one point, Dylan, that hasn't been our turnover issue.
Yeah, they're getting the ball up the court. They're speeding it up the court. Lee is pushing it up, but once we get in the half court, that's where our turnovers are coming.
Not making anything happen there. Looks like Emory and Henry, as I said, will have the ball first to begin second half action. And the starters are back in for Emory and Henry. That's Lee with it up top being guarded by Rios. Sets up the offense, gives it to Jones on the left-hand base wing to Owens. Hatterer feeds Hoppers down low. She gets double-teamed, tries to kick it out and turns it over. Here comes Profit. Kicks out to Rios on the left-hand wing, sets up the offense. Emory and Henry playing man-to-man. Rios dribble over, handoff to Davison. Davison 3 on the way, too strong, and she follows her own shot, almost gets her own rebound. Emory and Henry just standing, not boxing out. But Jones gets it, and she turns it over. 2 possessions, 2 turnovers. And if I were Coach Dickens, well,
you'd be fired up.
I don't know. I guess I've been Coach Dickens. I'm just happy it's not. I'll go home and be able to sleep tonight, won't you? 9 minutes to play in the third quarter. Emory and Henry trails by 21 and has turned the ball over twice in their 2 offensive possessions. There goes Rios. She drives all the way to the rim and scores it. Offense too easy for LMU and non-existent for Emory and Henry. Owens kicks it over left-hand wing to Jones. Looks inside at Hoppers. Now we skip it across. Lee with it to Owens, who's cut the baseline on the right. We're trying to get it inside to Hoppers. We can't. We bounce it into Hoppers. She makes a move, kicks it out. 3 on the way by Hatterer is no good, and nobody's there for the, I take that back. Owens is there and takes it away. I was going to say nobody there for the offensive rebound. Grace Day was there for the Rail Splitters, and Owens comes from nowhere and takes it away from her. And this will send Emory and Henry to the first opportunity at the free throw line of the entire game. Taylor Owens' first shot is up and good. Owens, an 85% free throw shooter on the season. Second one is also good. So Emory and Henry finally gets on the scoreboard, still trailing by 21, 14-35, with 8.5 to play in the third quarter. Rios dribbles over, pass to Keeney, to Profit. Now back to Davison. Davidson kicks out. We're just pushing around the perimeter. Drive on the baseline by Davison. Nobody picks her up. Nobody stops
possessions
her.
in a row. They get an easy bucket.
They get to go to the rim because nobody on defense stands in front of her and stops her. 14-37, trailing by 13. Looking inside to Hoppers. Can't get it there. Just dribbling around. And Emory and Henry's Jones floats it up and it bangs off, and another rebound by LMU. And another drive to the basket. Nobody stops. That was Davison. And then Day is there for the stick back and draws the foul. Emory and Henry just out of position everywhere.
Number 11, Grace Glantz, checking in for the Wasps for number 55, Alexis Hoppers.
Day's first shot is good. Day's a 6'1" junior from Hershey, Pennsylvania. I think we said that earlier because I remembered the Hershey part. 7:48, third quarter action. Emory and Henry trails by 14. Second shot on the way is good by Day. Full court pressure again by LMU. Lee gets it, dribbles it over. Owens with it on the right-hand wing, goes off a ball screen, picks up her dribble. One dribble off the screen, picks it up. It's just tentative offense. Jones crosses over, floater, hits nothing, and it's picked up by Day for the Rail Splitters. Rios tries to attack, gets cut off. Keeney drives baseline right, gets around, doesn't have anything, kicks it out in the corner. Davison, three on the way, drains it. So that's 6 threes by the Rail Splitters. Emory and Henry 0 for 11 from 3. Trailing by 18. Emory and Henry with 14 points. Almost halfway through the third quarter. Lee trying to set up something on offense, 12 on the shot clock. So Jones is just going to rip it because nobody else is doing anything. Glantz is there for the rebound, sticks it up and draws the foul. We need a steady dose of somebody taking it to the defense. And that doesn't hurt my feelings any. Grace Day now with 3 fouls for LMU.
Grace Day gets subbed out for the Rail Splitters. Number 14, Addie Kirkpatrick comes in.
Day with 8 points and 6 rebounds, 4 of 4 at the free throw line. I don't mind seeing her on the bench. And Glantz hits to her first free throw for Emory and Henry. 6:46 remaining in third quarter action. Emory and Henry trails 15-42. Glantz, another one on the way and good. I can't even do the math how far below we are. 26 points we're trailing now. As LMU dribbles up, that's Rio setting up her team on offense. Emory and Henry playing man-to-man. At the top to Keeney. Hits a cutter. That was Kenny. I think that's who that cutter was. And we just foul her as she catches the ball.
Checking in for the Wasps, number 40, Chelsea Hodges, and for number 23, Taylor Owens.
Ball out of bounds under their basket, inbounded to Kirkpatrick. Handoff back to Davison. Davison dribbles in, kicks it out. Long 2 on the way, no good. Rebound by Hatterer for Emory and Henry. In transition, no numbers advantage. Hatterer looks for a cutter, picks up her dribble, finds Glantz down low. Glantz goes up, she gets hammered. But she taps it back in bounds to the Rail Splitters. Davison, 3 on the way in transition, no good. Rebound. Emory and Henry's Hodges. Owens with the ball. 6 minutes remaining, trailing by 26. Finds Hatterer, left baseline. Looks inside at Hodges. And as she passes it in there, foul down low. Who's that foul on, Dylan?
I did not see who they called it on. Oh, 14. It was on Addie Kirkpatrick.
That's her first, team third. 5:54 remaining. Emory and Henry trail 16-42. Ball out of bounds underneath their basket, and because it's a foul, it'll reset the shot clock to 30. We need a 60-second shot clock for us and a 2-second shot clock for them. Lee with the ball out of bounds underneath Emory's basket, trailing by 26. Rail Splitters playing man-to-man. We get the ball inbounds to McClanahan. Hand off to Lee. Lee drives all the way, bangs it off the glass, no good, too strong. Emory battles for it, but the Rail Splitters, Rios comes away with it in transition. She's going to take the pull-up and buries it. She's a solid player. She averages 7 points a game, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists for the Rail Splitters. Lee carries it up, gives it to Pace. Pace down low to Hodges. She brings it down too low. Glance battles for the rebound, goes out of bounds with it.
Watch for getting the ball in the post inside more this half. We're just not finishing.
Nope, not finishing. We're still, let's see what our shooting average is. 18%, 6 of 33, 0 of 12 from 3, and being out-rebounded by 13. So you would expect this score to be down by 28. Kick out to Keeney. Keeney drives baseline, picks it up. And as Rios tries to give it to somebody, Emory and Henry comes out with it. Lee with it on the perimeter for Emory and Henry. Misses the cutter, finds the cutter. That's Pace. She dribbles it back out. Lee gets it inside to Hodges. Hodges goes up, and her little hook shot's good.
That was a nice move by Hodges.
Hodges, 6-foot freshman from Boone, North Carolina, and gets Emory and Henry to score. It's been hard to come by. 4:42 remaining third quarter, 18-42. Emory and Henry trails as the Rail Splitters look for something. Kenny dribbles inside, kicks it out. Three's on the way, 3 drains it by Keeney.
That's Keeney's 4-3 on the day. She's 4 for 5. Somebody's got to get a hand up on her.
It's too easy. Lee with it against man-to-man defense. Now the low block. They can't finish as Hodges. That's the shot you want. You just got to be able to finish it. Rios with the ball for the Rail Splitters. Left-hand wing to Canaday. And on a drive by Kenny, it gets deflected out of bounds. That will be Rail Splitters' ball underneath their basket when we come back from timeout. 4:01 remaining in the third quarter. Emory and Henry trails by 29, 18-47.
Edward Jones support for WEHC and Emory and Henry Wasp basketball comes proudly from Tom Graham and Kyle King of Edward Jones Investments, 126 East Main Street, Marion. Learn what investing can do for you. 276-783-4448 or edwardjones.com. Edward Jones member SIPC. Food Country, the food specialist, bringing you quality, price, satisfaction, founded in a small rural area to serve friends and neighbors. Food Country has evolved to serve Southwest Virginia and East Tennessee. Locally owned and operated, your money stays in your community. Food Country is proud to support Emory and Henry Wasp basketball on WEHC 90.7 FM.
My fault. I wrote that. I put dot, I think, in there. I should have put point. So sorry. Well, when the other team has taken 9 more shots than you and made 10 of them, well, and out-rebounding you by 14, it's just dismal. Everything you look at about tonight's game is dismal. Wouldn't you agree,
I would
Dylan?
agree. I would agree 100%.
What is it you do where you burn sage or something to remove the evil spirits from the
place?
place?
I know what you're talking about.
You need to do that tomorrow before, or maybe tonight. So ball inbounds to Walton. She tries to drive left, and it gets batted away from her. So it'll still be Rail Splitter ball underneath their basket. 12 on the shot clock. Emory and Henry trails by 29. Back into Walton. Walton drives right this time. It goes off her leg out of bounds, and it will be Emory and Henry ball. LMU picking up man-to-man full court, but that's their pressure. Lee's able, no, that's not Lee. Emory and Henry drives to the
Hodges
basket and gets it to finish. I just assumed that was Lee bringing the ball up. I didn't realize that Mimi Trainum had come in the game playing point guard, the 5'6" freshman from Richmond. So Hodges gets it up off the iron enough to make it go in, and will get to make the three-point play, which she does. 3:42, Emory and Henry now cuts into that lead little by little, trailing 21-47. So the coaches are calling out for Trainum to go after it. Emory and Henry playing man-to-man. And they're calling the officials some kind of stoppage of play. I have no idea why. It wasn't a turnover or a violation, or it may have been a clock issue, I'm not sure. Ball into Flowers, calls out the play, being guarded by Trainum. Left hand wing now to the high post to Kirkpatrick. She faces up, finds a cutter, and she when she throws it to the baseline to Kenny is sort of behind her. She had a hard time trying to handle that. It'll be Emory and Henry ball, so turnover for LMU. 3:17 remaining. Trainum gets it in for Emory and Henry. Dribbles up, being guarded man-to-man by Walton. Takes the three and drains it from the corner. Oh, wait. That was Taylor Pace, so she handed it off to Pace in the baseline, and Pace knocks down the three. We could use a steady diet of that.
That'll get the lid off the basket from the three-point line.
Flowers dribbles around, hands off to Kenny, and Kenny turns it over. So against the substitutes for LMU, the ones that are in there now, we forced a couple of turnovers. Now we need to cash in on it. Emory and Henry gets the ball inbounds to Trainum. Trainum brings it up. Corner to Pace. Now back out to McClanahan. Dribbles left. Back to Glantz. Glantz at the top. Spin move inside. Now kicks it back out. We're not doing anything with it, but 2 or 3 dribbles and handing it off to the next person. Now 3 on the way by Glantz, and she nails it. So Emory and Henry cuts from a 29-point deficit down to 20 with 2:24 remaining, and waiting at the scores table are the starters for LMU. Walton jacks up a 3. She buries it off the dribble. 2:10 remaining. Emory and Henry trailing by 22. Trainum at the point guard. Tries to get past her defense, tries to hand it over to McClanahan, and it's stripped away. And that'll be Walton taking it all the way to the rim for LMU. Under 2 minutes in the third quarter, Emory and Henry trails by 24, 27-51. And that's what you need to do, train them, trying to advance, and the defense hounding her just to keep attacking the defense and make the official call the foul. Who's that foul on? That's on Walton, her first, team's 5th. So Emory and Henry will shoot 1-1 after this, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Coming in for the Rail Splitters, you have 5, Keeney. You had 35, Grace Day. And I believe number 10, Davison came in the game.
So train him at the free throw line for Emory and Henry. Her shot glances off the front of the rim, no good. 1:47 in third quarter action. 27-51 is the Emory and Henry deficit. Trainham's second shot's going to be too strong, bounces around. And Emory and Henry battles for the rebound. Glantz battled for it but couldn't come away with it as Flowers dribbles up, kicks it back out to Keeney. Keeney dribbles in, kicks it out to Davison. Davison's 3 is long, and Pace comes out for it for Emory and Henry. That's Trainham driving in, too strong. No, that's not Trainham. Yeah, it is. And misses, so rebound for LMU. Davidson up top to Keeney. Keeney hand off to Flowers. Flowers comes back. Keeney thought about the 3, dribbles in, 2 dribbles. They're making nothing happen on offense here. But now Canaday drives past everybody. Nobody stopped her, but what happened? I just saw the net move. I guess it just hit the bottom of the net.
It did.
3 on the way for Emory and Henry, too strong. Nobody there to rebound. Oh, wait, I take that back. That's Taylor Pace taps it away, feeds it down low, kicks it out. That's McClanahan with it. 10 on the shot clock. Trainum thinks she'll go. Hands it over to Pace. Pace, 3 on the way, no good. Why did we quit playing?
I didn't see the call.
I didn't see any call.
I think he maybe called offensive foul or out of bounds or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't hear a whistle. The shot clock was at 4. Everybody just stood there. 25 seconds remaining. Emory and Henry trails 27-51. Rail Splitters with the ball at the end of the third quarter of action. Waiting for one shot here. Trainum guarding Flowers. The Rail Splitters have 2 people at the high post, 2 people at the corners. Now they hit a cutter off a back screen. That 3's too long. They're going to get it, but they don't get it in time for a shot at the buzzer. Oh, that's a shot clock violation. I thought it was the end of the third quarter. So we have 8/10 of a second left, and Emory and Henry gets the ball. So at the end of 3 periods of action, 30 minutes, Emory and Henry scored 27 points and let the Rail Splitters get away with 51.
People Incorporated support for WEHC and ENH Wasp basketball comes from People Incorporated, believing that every person needs support from others. People Incorporated promotes the dignity of individuals and families, moves people into the economic mainstream, and works to develop existing strengths and resources within communities. For information about assistance with community developments, education, employment training, family services, financial services, or housing, contact 276-623-9000 or peopleinc.net. All of the efforts of People Incorporated are directed by the concerns, hopes, needs, and dreams of the people served. First Bank and Trust, Emory and Henry basketball is brought to you with the support by First Bank and Trust, offering mobile banking, Apple Pay, remote deposits, and more. Serving you with the free checking since 1979. Member FDIC and on the web at firstbank.com.
Well, we've talked about the dismal shooting woes of Emory and Henry. But if you look at the points scored, we only have 27. The starters have scored 6 points in tonight's game.
Wow.
6 points in tonight's game.
You don't see that very often.
I don't ever want to see it.
You don't ever want to see it, but you hardly ever see it as it is.
Yeah, and that's not because the coaches picked the wrong 5 people to start either.
No.
I don't know what happened to those 5 people, but they have not had a good evening here. So at the remainder, 10 minutes left to play here remaining at the Bob Johnson Court. Emory and Henry trails 27-51, playing man-to-man against the Rail Splitters from LMU, who pass around the perimeter. Now give it out to Keeney. Keeney finds a backdoor cutter. She bangs it off the rim. That's at the bottom of the backboard. And Trainum in transition pulls it up, looks for somebody. So Emory and Henry on the floor right now is Trainum, 22, 40, Hodges. Hodges gets it at the high post, gives it over to Taylor Pace, who drives left, puts it way off the glass. No good, but Glantz battles for the rebound and ties it up. Possession error favors Emory and Henry. Well, these substitutes that are in here playing are playing hard. They're going to the offensive glass. That's, everybody else have been standing and watching. So we get a fresh 30 here. Ball underneath our basket. LMU playing man-to-man. Emory and Henry sends a cutter to the right-hand wing. That's McClanahan. She takes she comes back with her dribble. Drives all the way left, puts it up off the back of the backboard, not the front. And LMU comes away with it. So Davison with the ball up top. Left-hand wing up top to Day. Day's going to dribble left, and she's going to get – oh, no.
Oh, I thought that was on the floor.
It was well on the floor. Yeah. So Day caught it at the high post on the left, took 2 dribbles, got fouled before the first dribble, I think, and took 2 more dribbles and scored it, and they're going to count the basket and give her the foul. The free throw as well. So that's Day going to the free throw line for LMU. Well, LMU, statistically, if you compare Emory and Henry and LMU on the season, they would lead us in every category. They also had a big win the other night when they took on number 1 Catawba and lost by 3. So they're one of the contenders in the South Atlantic Conference. Emory and Henry with it up top, sending cutters on the baseline. Find McClanahan on left-hand wing. Now to Bradford. Back to Pace. Pace, hand off, 10 on the shot clock. Down low to Bradford. Bradford tries to kick it out, and there's another turnover for Emory and Henry. Profit takes it all the way to the rim, draws the foul on McClanahan. No, that's not going to be on McClanahan. It's going to be on Glantz. So, fourth quarter of action, Emory and Henry trails 27-54.
Number 3, Frost, and number 24, Spanauer sub in for the Wasps.
So at the free throw line is Profit, 60% free throw shooter. First one is good. Profit, Flowers, and are some of the returners from last year that played and started every single game in their season. Second shot is also good for Profit.
Number 12, Canada, and number 23, Kenny come in for the Rail Splitters.
Still full court pressure by LMU, man-to-man. We get the ball inbounds, and Trainham will bring it up. She needs to keep tracking that pressure and draw the foul. Outside to Spanauer. Spanauer crossover dribble, tries to get it inside, looks for a backdoor cut, finds her, and then kicks it to the short corner. That's Bradford. So Frost got it on the pass from Spanauer, who's fed Bradford at the short corner on the left, and she connects. 29-56, Emory and Henry trails. Oh. So Keeney had it at the high post. She was kind of double teamed by a couple of Wasps there, and as she tried to pivot and make a move, Spanauer gets called for the foul. Emory and Henry's third team foul in 2 minutes of fourth quarter action. Flowers gives it over to Canada. High post. They're going to call a foul on Emory and Henry. So the ball's banging around everywhere. And Emory and Henry's bench is calling for a walk.
They did not agree with the call.
No, and now they're going to call a foul. That foul's on Glantz, her first. Team fourth. Hey, who was it got the elbow last night in your game?
Oh, that's my buddy Jake Moynihan from Indiana.
He's got to have a black eye today.
Oh, he does.
Because he had one when he was walking off the court.
I told him he needs to tell everybody they should see the other guy.
Yeah, well, he took it to the face.
He did.
And he got called for the foul. Canada with it, hands off to Flowers. Flowers tries to get inside, does get inside, puts it up, bangs it off the glass, and gets it to connect. 7:30 remaining. Emory and Henry trails 29-58. Bradford, hand off to Frost. Frost back up top to Trainham. Trainham, ball screen by Glantz. Trainham tries to get inside, hand off to Frost. Thinks about the three, tries to split defenders, then tries to pass through two defenders, and it doesn't go past the first one. Picked off, turnover number 2,000 something, I think. Davison drives baseline. Her defender falls down, kicks it out. Canada dribbles over, takes it all the way on the left-hand baseline to Davidson. Davidson drives past the defense.
Another easy
scores
layup.
It and almost gets it. Emory and Henry almost has it stolen away on a lazy inbounds pass there. Glantz posting up inside. Nobody will look at her.
Oh, you
got to
give her that.
Got to give her that. Won't give it to her. Posting up inside, now they give it to the defense. You can't stare at it all day long. 6:30 remaining, Emory and Henry trails by 31. And Canada takes it all the way in, picks it up, kicks it out to Keeney, and Keeney buries the three.
It's her fifth three-pointer of the day.
Dang.
5 for 6.
And LMU makes them 8 of 24 from three. Emory and Henry still shooting 25%, 20 turnovers, and being out-rebounded by 13. Everything, there's no spin to put on it. There's no statistical, I mean, we can tell you the statistical explanations, but it's been pretty miserable tonight.
It's not been pretty. It has not been pretty.
Nope. Well, let's talk about what's going to happen next. So tomorrow, men's and women's wrestling will compete at 7 o'clock. And then Thursday, women's basketball travels to Alice Lloyd. They played them earlier this season, I think. I'll have to look that up. And on Friday, the men are playing here at home against Brevard. That's a 5 o'clock tip. So you can come to the King Center for that action, or tune in to 90.7 WEHC FM, or go to GoWasp.com and enjoy the live stream. Just a reminder, in all buildings, all inside facilities at Emory and Henry, masks are required. So if you come out to the game, be prepared, although there are some masks available in the lobby. So coming out of timeout, Emory and Henry with 6:22 remaining trails 29-63. Has the ball at their end line, trying to find somebody to get it in bounds to, and float it out there to Spainhour. Spainhour gets it across the half-court line, being guarded man-to-man, drives to the left baseline, kicks it out to Frost on the right wing. She looks inside at Owens. Now Frost is going to take the three. Oh, my gosh, it goes halfway down and back out. And here comes Flowers in transition, gives it to Walton. Walton skips it across, now back out to Kenny, and Kenny buries the three. They're as hot as we are cold. Can't get the ball in bounds. You cannot float it in bounds to somebody underneath the opponent's basket.
No.
That's a layup. That's a pick six.
That's a cardinal sin of basketball. You can't do that.
Pick six waiting to happen right there. I guess you call that a pick two, except for you're probably going to foul her, so it's going to be a pick three. 5:47 remaining. Emory and Henry trails 29-66, and we do get it in bounds to Lee, who's entered the lineup for Emory and Henry, number 5. She's being guarded by Flowers, man-to-man by LMU. Frost with it on the right-hand wing, looks inside. Owens at the high post. Now to Bradford, who takes it from the right baseline. Can't get it to fall. I feel like that's all we've said all night. Walton, short corner shot is really short, and Frost gets it for Emory and Henry. Pass ahead to Owens. Owens has nothing. Kicks it to Frost at the top. Lee on the left-hand wing. Looks down low at Bradford. Nothing there. Now to Frost, left-hand wing. We just dribble sideways. You can't dribble sideways. 10 on the shot clock. Somebody has to get inside. Owens tries to, dribbles baseline, kicks it. Frost on the left-hand wing. 3 on the way. 3 good. Well,
that was nice ball movement.
Yeah, we worked. We had good ball movement, and we passed up a shot for the better shot. 4:45 remaining. 32-66, Emory and Henry trails. Top is Canaday. Flowers going to take the three. It's long. Emory and Henry battles for the rebound. And Kirkpatrick's going to get called for the foul by LMU on the rebound. So we have media timeout here with 4.5 minutes remaining. Emory and Henry trailing by 34. That foul was on Kirkpatrick. That's going to be her third, team second. Well, Hodges for Emory and Henry with 9 points. Glantz with 7 and 5 rebounds. And your starters have still scored 6 points.
Hodges and Glantz have gave you some good minutes. They've crashed the glass in the second half, but
they've played hard.
They have played hard.
Their effort, there's no shame in their effort. So in for Emory and Henry right now is 23 Owens, 40 Hodge. Is that 40 or 44? 5 Lee,
Hodges.
40 Hodges, 3 Frost, and 24 Spainhour. And if you're the experienced players on this team, you need to be asking yourself, what do they need to be asking themselves, Dylan?
they got to be asking themselves what they got to do better next game, and in practice, preparing for the next game so this doesn't happen again, honestly.
Yeah. So Emory and Henry with the ball on their end line, facing full court pressure. And there we go. There's the pick. There's the pick 2. She can't get it to fall, but on the third attempt, Flowers scores it. So they're face guarding us man-to-man. We're not setting a screen, and we're looking to pass it to somebody. We finally found somebody. That somebody is Spainhour. She gets it up the court, gets it to Lee. Lee calls the offense, thumbs down, so we send Cutters in. And while she's standing there waiting for the offense.
Another turnover.
She gets picked by Kenny, and then she fouls Kenny as Kenny goes in with it. 22 turnovers. So Kenny will go to the free throw line for LMU. First shot's up and good. 4 minutes remaining. Emory and Henry trails 32-69. This is the kind of game where you're like, let's see if we can get to 40. You got to set some kind of goal. Second shot is also good. Let's see if we can go 4 minutes without a turnover. Lee gets the ball in bounds, takes it up against the full court pressure. Calls the play, thumbs down, Cutters across the baseline. There's another turnover. We're going to tie it up. Nope.
There's bodies everywhere.
Bodies everywhere. Ball's on the floor. Walton just scoops it up and scores it. Pass ahead to Spainhour. Spainhour, left-hand wing, looking down low at Owens, picks up her dribble. Owens at the short corner, faces up, looks down low to Hodges. Hodges gets it, scores it. We could use a steady diet of that.
Hodges has scored in the post well in the second half.
Yeah, that's 11 points for Hodges, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, they didn't update it yet, but 3:15 remaining, 72-34, Emory and Henry trails. There's Walton. Let's just pass it to somebody on the perimeter and let them drive past all the defense. Lee dribbles up for Emory and Henry. Under 3 remaining, 34-74. Emory and Henry trails by 40. This is a whipping. Spainhour, right-hand wing, up top to Frost. Frost feet set. That 3 is a long one. And Owens is there for the rebound and the stick back. Taylor Owens for 2. 2:40 remaining, 36-74, Emory and Henry trails. Flowers, right-hand wing, dribbles off the screen, picks up her dribble. Around the perimeter, another 3 attempt from the corner is long, and the rebound will go out of bounds off of the rail splitters. So full court pressure here. They're face guarding and nobody's guarding the inbounder, and we have a difficult time getting open. So Lee comes back to the ball after making a cut away, gets it. Sets up the offense, being guarded by Flowers of LMU. Frost cuts to the left-hand wing, Spainhour right. Finds Hodges at the high post. Hodges, she thought she walked, so she quit playing, and she almost did, but I think her pivot foot stayed down.
I think so, too.
Frost with it on the left-hand wing, 7 on the shot clock. Dribbles down short corner, picks it up, kicks it out. Nobody knows the shot clock, and we just heave up a shot that doesn't go past the defender. Walton, in transition, finds Kirkpatrick on the right-hand the right-hand lane, and she scores it. 36-76, minute and a half remaining. Emory and Henry trails. Frost gets it down low to Owens. Owens, reverse layup is too strong, and everybody just stands. There's nobody going to the boards. 120, Emory and Henry trails by 40. Flowers dribbles around, looks for a cutter. Back screen there for a cutter. Now they're down low to Kirkpatrick. Baby hook by Kirkpatrick, bounces all around and falls in. 6'1" senior from Minton, North Carolina. Oh yeah, nice cut by Owens. So Hodges had the ball on the left-hand wing. Everybody was asleep, and Owens cut back door to the basket from the right-hand wing and scores. Emory and Henry trails by 40, under a minute to play. Handoff Walton. Walton going left. Tries to go up. Doesn't. Kicks it out. That's Kenny. Kenny drives in. She draws the foul. So that'll send Kenny to the free throw line for the Rail Splitters. Shot on the way is good. 42 seconds remaining. Emory and Henry trails 38-49. Dylan, I think it's you.
You
really.
think it's me?
To be quite honest, I mean, I've been here all along. This is your.
I know. I don't think you're not going to bring me back.
This is your first. Oh, yeah, I'm bringing you back. Don't you worry. I'm going to give you another chance. Lee with it. Gives it to Spainhour. Up top to Frost. 18 on the shot clock, 28 on the game clock. Now she loses it.
Another
and
turnover.
Picked up by the Rail Splitters. Another, as you said, that's 25 turnovers. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
And now the Rail Splitters will just victory formation it for the basketball version. Take a knee. And they'll end up with the 38-80 victory over Emory and Henry. So that drops the Wasps to 3-3 on the season, and Lincoln Memorial goes to 3-4. So Dylan, let's run down some stats before we send it back to the studio. We are not going to make some player interview us after this game, nor would I make a coach have to come and relive the woes. How about for LMU, who were the leaders for the Rail Splitters?
Michaela Keeney, she played and had an outstanding game. I mean, she shot 5 of 6 from the three-point line, 5 of 7 from the field, had 5 rebounds, 17 total points. Lauren Flowers also played a really good game. She had 12 points, 5 rebounds, 5 of 8 from the field. And Shaquela Walton also had double figures, 10 points, 5 of 10 from the field.
For Emory and Henry, Chelsea Hodges ends up on 5 of 9 shooting with 11 points. Taylor Owens, 3 of 9 for 8 points. Grace Glantz, 5 rebounds, 7 points. Frost with 3, Pace with 3, McClanahan with 2, Bradford 2, Hoppers 2. Also seeing action and not scoring. Lee, Jones, Hatterer, Trainum, and Spainhour, as we said before. Emory and Henry's starters scored 10 points in the game. Of course, we only scored 38, but still 10 points. It was kind of a miserable 29% shooting night for Emory and Henry. And LMU at 47%, that's not on fire, but that's closer to any flames that we saw all night. 9 of 26 from 3. Emory and Henry was 3 of 18. It was just a night to forget, a night to learn from, maybe we can say, about tonight's game. Well, women will be in action on Thursday at Alice Lloyd, so you can catch that. You can find the link to how to tune into that game at Alice Lloyd on GoWasp.com. And then the men return to action on Friday against Brevard at 5 o'clock here at the King Center. You can find that. You can tune into that one on WEHC at 90.7, or you can go to WEHCFM.ed, I don't know, something. And you can also go to GoWasp.com to figure out everything about Emory and Henry athletics. Well, Dylan, any last words before we shake the dust of this game off our feet?
I don't have anything. I just appreciate you letting me join you tonight.
Oh, it's great. We hope you can come back and do the rest of the women's games in December. And we enjoyed having Tessa Johnston, women's basketball assistant, help us last night with men's basketball action. We'd like to say those of you tuning in, the parents, family, former players, and supporters of Emory and Henry, we appreciate your support. It's not too late. Today is Give Tuesday. Emory and Henry's trying to get a certain number of donations. I gave my little donation today. They get matched so much from somewhere. So check out on www.ehc.edu to find out how to give on today, Give Tuesday. Well, that's all we have from the King Center. We'll remind you once again, in case you didn't forget, in case you forgot, the score was Emory and Henry 38, the Rail Splitters from Lincoln Memorial 80. So we'll send it back to you, Leanne Hunter, and thank you for running the board for us. But before we do, we'll say thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and go Wasps. Back to you, Lee.